So, hi, everybody, and welcome to Spacebar, mindful pauses for conscious conversations. And my name is Yvette. I am the daughter.
And I'm Linda. I'm the mom.
So, together we are Spacebar, and it
Or
is our intention to carry you on a journey with an opportunity to explore relationships that you have with your family members, whatever. And then, of course, we'd love to invite guests to join us to give you an opportunity to learn more about opportunities and products out there that might benefit your life and might be really good game changers for the quality of your life. So today we are so excited to have someone special with us, Barbara Sabran with a company called Cleanzing. So welcome, Barbara. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Linda and Yvette. So good to see you.
thank you.
Nice to meet you. And I know you've known Mom for about how many, 4 years?
Yes, about that. Yes.
All right, excellent. So you have a little bit of a history there, but because I'm just getting to know you, do you want to talk about who you are and your company called Cleanzing with a Z?
With a
Yes,
Z.
that's an easy way to remember it. So yeah, for most of my career, I've been on the marketing side, first as a marketing director for a software company that led me to start my first ad agency, which grew to quite a sizable global side business. And then we had my husband Ira and I, who actually run Cleansing. We had our son in 2000, and we decided at that time, the way companies were working with agencies and things, to change our business model to be more consultative. So from 2000 to 2002, we transitioned our marketing business to be more consultative, managing fewer clients, but mostly in the tech space, a few consumer things here and there. And then in about 2018, we looked at some issues that were very prevalent in the world, and we thought, where would be the best place to park our experience and maybe make a little difference in the world? And we also had an awful client experience, a client that insisted we narrow who we work with to just them, with contracts and assurances that as they grew, we would be rewarded. So first time in my career, I agreed to that. Company got acquired, and then after focusing on their growth for 3 years, we were dumped, and we thought, what a right time to do our own business. So you can take a bad situation that you think is bad and use it for positive. And I think that's what we did. And we started with looking at, like I said, what are some world problems that even in a small way, even in a regional way, if we could help, what would we want to do? So for me, selfishly, I just noticed there were so few hygienic products that suited our lifestyle needs, which we really wanted more natural products.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just such a narrow selection. And if you went natural, the price point was really not attractive. So we also looked at plastic proliferation. And so that's why we started Cleansing. So we thought of inventing products that really had a sustainable component to it, as well as luxury, because you can get people to be more sustainable, but it's a lot easier to get them there if you offer them luxury, a better life, and for the same price or better than what they've been doing, because the majority of products out there are synthetic as it relates to home cleaning products, as well as personal hygiene. So what we did was we tried to think of a packaging situation. First, I'll talk about home products. So many people want to entirely do away with plastic, but I believe as long as it can be reused, and if it's number 2 plastic, we think it still is the best way to go for certain applications, like a surface cleaner. You need a good trigger if you're actually caring about how you're cleaning surfaces. You don't want to be slapping all sorts of water. So we put a lot of thoughtfulness into how we developed our surface cleaning bottle, and we guarantee this bottle for 3 years. So it's one of our cleaners, and it's called Granite Gloss. And then this is the refill for it. So once this bottle empties, you simply use this bottle. This is super cost effective. The average household reduced their plastic usage by 700% just by adopting this surface cleaning methodology. And then the other product, one of our important products, is something called glass gloss multi-surface cleaner, and that sanitizes. And most sanitizing products are actually pretty dangerous, like if it's ingested, even on your skin. So our product, glass gloss, you could spray it on your skin multiple times in the day. It wouldn't hurt it. It's 70% ethanol and then other good ingredients for cleaning and safe for the body and the home. So those two products, frankly, cover most of your house other than the way inside of your toilet. But anyway, so that gives you an idea of our mindset in terms of product invention. And this product right here, the granite gloss concentrate, it's really taking off in our stores. So when we launched the company, my original thought was, let's get Whole Foods on board with us. Whole Foods will love this idea. They care about the earth so much, and they have so many beautiful natural products inside. Well, Whole Foods loved our products, but they said, we need everything in plastic. And that was actually opposite of the direction we're going. So in terms of plastic for just reuse, and throw away and not reuse. So most of our vessels are made with glass in the 16 ounce and the 2 ounce, and then it's refilled with a larger vessel. So yes, Linda, you have one right there. But, so when
I actually have a couple of questions for you that popped up while you were speaking and sharing. You mentioned the word trigger. Is that the spray component, the piece
Correct.
that you pump? Okay, so that's actually guaranteed for 3 years that it's not, because there's so many bad ones out there that they don't work after a while.
Like the best trigger you can get out there right now in the consumer market might be like at Home Depot, where you can buy a bottle with a decent trigger and then you would reuse that bottle. But in general, I would say 95% of the triggers that are on the grocery store shelves are terrible, and certainly would not last for more than, the usage you're having. Maybe it lasts a couple usages, but this is such a robust trigger. It costs us a bit of money, which is why the bottle, when you originally buy it, isn't super inexpensive, but it also has a shelf life better than other bottles. So
right. Yeah. And then another question that you used the word natural. And that to me is a very loaded word for a consumer, because you see natural fragrance or, all natural on these products, and they really are not. And until you go and read all the ingredients, then you stop and say, what is natural about that? So can you explain, with the company that you have with cleansing, obviously natural is authentically natural. Can you explain the difference to our listeners?
Yeah. So first of all, the word natural fragrance is an oxymoron, and it's an excuse. It's an excuse makers put out to cover at least 10 other ingredients can be under the word fragrance. So by pairing those two words together, they're actually hiding something. So you should never have the word fragrance if you care about natural. If fragrance is one of those points on your ingredients, you should connect with the manufacturer, whether it's, ask them a question, and they need to disclose to you, what does fragrance mean on your label? What does that mean? And if they are not going to answer you, then I can assure you there's probably some ingredients in there that you really don't want on your body or your home. So yeah, that's fragrance. So for us, every ingredient we do have one ingredient that's vegan approved, that wouldn't necessarily be made from a plant, but everything else we have is made from a plant. So I'll tell you where that applies. We have an FDA registered hand sanitizer that's made with 70% ethanol. And we work with labs for things like our glass gloss and our hand sanitizer, because we don't want to handle ethanol here in Naples. We don't want to, that's not for us to handle. That's really for we're at the formulator, because it's so essential, especially with things like COVID and all the variants. If you get that percentage off, even by just 1%, people can die. So we don't want to mess around with that, which when we started with the granite gloss and the glass gloss, we actually had a glass gloss concentrate. That was our thought. But COVID happened 1 year after starting, year and a half after starting the company, and people, if they got that concentrate mixture wrong, like they spilled some or whatever, they're off. We don't want to be responsible for people getting sick. So we kept. Yeah.
So the granite gloss, you can buy a concentrate and then reuse the large container, but the glass gloss is something that you buy it and then you can't, there's no concentrate. Okay. All right.
No, it's just for sanitizing. It is a touchy area, and there's a reason there really aren't any companies out there. There might be like one other company like mine that makes a surface sanitizer with all plants. And they charge for their bottle like $35 for 30 ounces of product, like really big dollars. For us, we're closer to about 18 for 34 ounces, but that lasts you a long time.
Right.
And it can touch everything in your house. It's safe on every surface that you have. We don't recommend the sanitizer for leather, but granite gloss is even good on leather. It works on every stone surface, every hard surface, even anything that you want a little shine, you would use granite gloss.
So the glass gloss is something you could actually use on a surface that would kill germs, bacteria, COVID, Norwalk. I mean, you name it. It does kill that bacteria.
I think yes. I think everybody should have a bottle of glass gloss in their house. I think that is one of our nicest, like in terms of it being lovely, even if it touches your skin, like you don't mind it because it's just really nice. It actually has aloe, a little aloe in it. But yes, it kills beef blood, chicken blood, pork blood, fish blood, COVID, and all the variants. And it's mainly because of that 70% ethanol, and it's made according to CDC guidelines, carefully overseen by the place that we use for that product is out of Miami, and they're called Pure Source. And they deal day in, day out with the FDA in terms of products they manufacture for people. They make a lot of creams, a lot that are medical grade. So that's where we chose, after interviewing a lot of formulators around the nation. I'm so glad they're right here in Miami, not far. They also help us with other products of ours on the personal care side, but mainly they're the sole source for the hand sanitizer and the surface sanitizer.
Now for the glass gloss, do you sell that in travel size?
Yes, we do. Well, I would say not quite, because you really need to be in 2-ounce bottles. One could use one of our 2-ounce spray bottles, and I'd be happy to give it to one of my clients if they ask for it. But we do, for all of our products, we do have small sizes. So I'll show you. We have for the granite gloss, especially for a lot of my Florida customers that have lanais, having this little 4-ounce bottle is really nice. And I say to them, we'll guarantee this for the whole time that you have this bottle. So we give the same guarantee for this bottle as this. So people can pour, after they mix up their 34 ounces of this, just pour 4 of those ounces in here, and you'll reuse this bottle as well, because this is nice on the hands, and you can even leave it outside. It's not going to go bad.
I was thinking about the glass gloss because I travel a lot, and I used to travel for a living. And whenever I go into a hotel, no matter, I've done this for years, long before even COVID, but Norwalk was a big thing for us working on board ships. And I mean, they could shut your ship down as a result of how many guests ended up having it. But I am infamous for taking essential oils with me, and I'll use thieves oil, put it on something, and I'll wipe down the handles, the light switches, the remote control, anything that someone could possibly touch. I go and wipe down, even though they supposedly have sanitized. So I was wondering if the glass gloss came in a travel size, because I put it in my suitcase.
You know, that we currently put the glass gloss in a bottle just like this. So once you buy your glass gloss, you can put it in this size. The reason we haven't done that in the 2-ounce size is because it's just another SKU, and we are thinking for the homes with this. However, you know, we could test market something like that. And also, if my customers ask me to package it up for them, we're small enough that we could do that for our customers. I'd be happy to make up one for you in 2-ounce. Yeah, we actually didn't even put our hand sanitizer in small 2-ounce bottles. Our passion for being in glass and for what we are offering to the world. We trying to stick to a certain rigor of what we do. So don't see hand sanitizer as a gigantic demand product, believe it or not. And we do need to sell products in high volume. So to give you an idea, like our wash in one store, just one of our best-selling stores here, we will move like 60 bottles of wash in a matter of 3 or 4 weeks in one store, in one of the stores here in Naples.
Wow.
Wash is very popular, as is conditioner. It's what I'm so happy about 2023 is we've seen a nice uptick in conditioner. So when I say to you with hand sanitizer, why didn't I put that in a 2-ounce bottle? Well, for us to come up with a new label to put it in that package, even though it's nice for travel, I'm happy to give my customers bottles for free, and you can squirt that right in your 2-ounce bottle. I'm very happy for you. We'll give that to the customer. We should probably put that on our website, Yvette. You're making me think about the convenience of working with a smaller company, is that we do listen. I get texts from my customers all the time and emails. We tell them, if you don't see something in the store, please call us, or email us or text me, and we make sure that the customer is taken care of.
Well, I hopefully inspired a new idea for you.
Yes, and I will tell you, in the last 4 weeks, so many good ideas have come back from my stores. And this, you're hearing this for the first time in terms of publicly. Within the next 4 months, we're changing the name of Granite Gloss and Glass Gloss, because our store managers, we've all talked together, and we want people to understand that glass gloss is a surface sanitizer first and foremost. So when we say glass gloss, people might think, oh, it's just a glass cleaner. Why doesn't that sell for $4? Well, because the ingredients are really expensive that go in there, and you know, it is super safe and lovely, and it lasts a very long time. So we're changing that to cleansing multi-surface sanitizer. So
I like that.
yeah, it will say that. And then Granite Gloss will be multi-surface polish. So it's a polisher. If we think about the ultimate goal, Granite Gloss is a polisher and a cleaner. It's not a sanitizer. So that is one differentiator I think your listeners should pay attention to when they decide whether it's my products or somebody else's. When you want to get a cleaner, just be sure, if they are pitching it like it's a cleaner, is it sanitizing? And you can ask the manufacturer. There's a difference between cleaning. Cleaning is wiping away and killing most of the germs, but sanitizing, in America, you have to have a certain amount of things that are killed, that are actually gone from that spray, from that product.
I don't think most people understand that a lot of bacteria can actually live on surfaces for not just a few minutes, but actually days. And when we were dealing with, I was on a ship when the first cases of Norwalk came on. It wasn't even called neurovirus at that time. It was just some kind of traveler's discomfort. And we ended up learning a whole lot about Norwalk over the years. And most people don't understand also how much time and money the cruise lines actually put into investing in the safety and health of the guests on board, but also the crew. And having products with like yours, being that they're natural, would actually benefit in ways that, because the smell, the chemical combinations can also end up in the air and in the AC and heating systems of an entire ship. And every time there's Norwalk, not only do you have the cases of diarrhea and vomiting, but then you also end up with tons of people with respiratory issues because of the chemicals that they're using to clean all surfaces. Even pens, paper can actually hold bacteria, and people have no clue of how complex it really has become. And these different bacteria have become more intelligent.
And when you learn about this, okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, you can actually tell people that you were one of the people who ended up with the lung problem because of the toxic.
Yeah,
that's very true. I was on a ship, and it was my last contract, because I ended up in the middle of the night. I woke up and I was coughing so hard I could not breathe. And I had this moment of panic going, oh my gosh, how could I even call for help? Because I was just so distressed. But because of my yogic practice, I was able to talk myself down. I was able to calm myself down. I went to the infirmary in the morning, and I had ended up with a really bad case of bronchitis. And they had to give me a nebulizer, give me steroid shots in order to keep my lungs open.
Wow.
But I was in a cabin that it had a porthole, but you couldn't open it up for fresh air. And we had Norwalk so bad on board that as a result, they were going in and fogging our cabins. And it was a combination of bleach and hydrogen peroxide. And they would fog the rooms when we weren't there. And then that would all just, settle into surfaces and kill the Norwalk bacteria in your clothing, in your carpet, shoes. I mean, the science and the studies that they went through in order to figure out where this was kept on cycling through the ship. But because of the complexity of the systems and the circulation and the air we were breathing, it ended up, but that's the reason why I ended up leaving ships, because I could tell, and as soon as they started to clean, and whether we had gone into code red, anything, but my lungs instantly can detect when someone is using that combination of bleach and hydrogen peroxide, because it just goes into that. They want to shut down. They want to protect themselves. So I understand that.
I entirely relate to that, Yvette. And that is why we did the glass gloss, which will be our multi-surface sanitizer soon. That's why we did it. I also have the same kind of breathing issues. Actually, my son and I, if there is something off, like even in our house, if the air filter needs change, we feel it. Well, we don't even have to look at that filter. We can feel it. So some of us are just more sensitive with our breathing. My husband's like, "What are you, crazy?" Yeah, I don't feel it. No, you feel it. We'll be sneezing our nose. And here in Florida, we've had different waves of, various air problems with the Saharan desert coming over. And I do think it affects the air conditioning systems and the filters.
Sure.
But we have to be cautious of this. What do you think about that, Linda?
I agree. And we've also had mold problems. So
yes.
So that's another issue that people don't even realize that they have in their home, and they have all kinds of symptoms. They're sick, but they can't figure out why.
Exactly. So yeah, Yvette, I have not targeted cruise ships, but that is actually a perfect profile for us, because it would be a kind of, if we could get a one good ship line where it's a single customer, where managing it wouldn't require 4 or 5 people just to manage the account. If we could be managed with like 2 people and they buy a bulk of it and we demo and support them, I could see a cruise line actually being a very good customer for our glass gloss, for certain, even just for the workers that have to constantly be around this, to have with some of these products. I mean, your skin cracks, you're getting cuts, you get cuts from these synthetic cleaners. I don't know if you ever used a wet wipe, but that's a big thing to us. And it should be to every coastal city, is to not use wet wipe, not flush a wet wipe. In the UK, they've actually banned flushing wet wipes. There's no such thing as a good wet wipe to flush, because every wet wipe has a microplastic. So I'm not trying to switch topics here, but we want to talk about, what are things we can do as a society to help our oceans, to help our waterways. And one thing is to stop flushing wet wipes. So my husband, who is also a PhD in molecular biology from the University of Pennsylvania and has a good chemistry background as well, when we work with formulators and develop products, we know what they're saying, whether it's true or not true, so we can kibosh something. So in the start of the company, as I shared with you, our passion was to, and still is the same, to bring safe products sustainably and luxuriously. One of our products is called Cleansing Waters. Yes, that one. yes.
We both have it. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a largely witch hazel based product, and you'll find that a lot of the ingredients we use are old-fashioned ingredients, like essential oils that have tried and true performance for people that are in the know about essential oils. But our waters product, I could also see that really working on a ship, because you don't need wet wipes. You basically mist that on your toilet paper, and it's safe for every part of your body, even as a makeup remover. So it's not just a wipe for your personal area.
This takes off makeup.
Oh yes.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. We'll be
Holy
using
cow.
that.
Because those cleansing cloths in women's skincare have become, they're everywhere, from Neutrogena to whatever. And I don't like to buy them because they're bad for they're not biodegradable. So
that's right.
I had no idea this stuff does the same thing. Wow.
Cotton pad. Use a cotton pad though. Never use any toilet paper on your face. Use a cotton pad. You can also use 100% cotton, washcloth, and mist it if you want to remove your makeup with that. It's safe for babies. All of our products are safe for babies, men, and women, because I shouldn't say like a surface cleaner is something a baby should handle, but as it relates to waters or our wash or our conditioner or our moisturizer, it's all safe for the baby. Because what we do is we make our products pH balanced to the woman's vagina. And by doing that, that makes it safe for babies, and it also makes it safe for the man's pH. So yeah, so and waters is very important to be pH balanced, because the place that's most often touching is the lower area of our bodies. Also, people are using it to clean their hands. You don't need a hand sanitizer 9 out of 10 times to clean your hands. When you need it, you need it. Like if you feel like you've been around germy stores or germy people and you don't have access to liquid soap, then you should use a hand sanitizer. But when we started the company, we didn't want to have a hand sanitizer because we want people to use liquid soap and warm water to wash their hands. But so we do carry our hand sanitizer because my customers asked us to. Again, working with that formulator out of Miami, Pure Source, they helped us develop this Safe Hands. So yeah, that's this product. And how do you make a hand sanitizer sustainable? Well, this little bottle is equivalent to having 24 ounces of hand sanitizer and moisturizer in one bottle, and then all you need is less than a pea drop. Like that's even a lot right there. And when I shared with you about vegan approved ingredients, we have a special ingredient. Again, this is all special science. I can't actually manufacture this. This has to come out of my lab. We have a vegan approved ingredient in this that when you rub your hands together like this, aloe is released. The aloe isn't released until it has friction.
Oh, wow.
And that's why it's super moisturizing. And what you're left with is a very moisturized hand that is clean. So if we develop something, we want it to be, again, sustainable. And the way we make that is by putting super concentrations with various products. And that's one of them, where we look at being very concentrated and having multiple performances like moisturizer and sanitizing.
You know what, the cleansing waters, I was wondering how easy it would be to get kids to use this, because I think as parents, we've gotten really used to those little wipes for their bums to keep them clean and not leaving their underwear soiled. So this would be a really great tool for kids to use, because you just spray it on your toilet paper and then use it. But getting a kid to use it, that would be a question. If you had any, I don't know, research on that.
Yes. We even did a push last year. I don't know if you know the Moosh Moosh brand, but for kids stuffed animals, Moosh Moosh is one of the most popular stuffed animals. So we worked with a major supplier, Moosh Moosh, and we made a keychain that have a Moosh Moosh stuffed animal, and we put our 2-ounce waters in it, and it clicks really nicely. We did that as a season. Did I give you one of those, Linda?
Yes, I was just remembering that.
So, and now what we're doing in the stores that can handle freebies, because some of our stores have so much volume, handling a freebie. I shouldn't say some. One of our stores has over 7,000 customers a day in season. So they have a lot of customers, one of them. So it's a little harder for them to handle my freebie offers. But for my other stores, like lovely Ada's Natural Market in Fort Myers, and Food and Thought 2 and Food and Thought 1 here in Naples, We have a 2-ounce waters for free if anybody spends $10 on our products. And why are we doing that? We just want waters everywhere. We want kids to have it. We want everybody to be cleaning, have clean hands, get those germs off, have clean bodies. And, so that's how we are trying to, get it with kids. We could be doing more. And I think in 2024, we'll be doing a little more, like just giveaways at schools. That's where, when we look at helping the world to be a better place, if we look at it philosophically, I just have to, my phone is ringing. I don't know why. I don't know how to turn this off. Boom. Okay. If we look at making an impact on sustainability, let's first think of the region we live, okay, where we can actually create real life examples and show a difference. Because it's a long road to hoe. And I know you know about this a bit with teaching. I know with Linda, with what you're doing with regenerative farming and clean water and all of that, when we create hero areas around the nation that make a difference and we can show that it's performing and it's working and the message is getting out, to me, that is our purpose for cleansing. The large, gigantic sales across national change, it will happen. It isn't the right timing for us until 2024. So it's been like 4.5 years of developing, listening to customers, getting product out there and making adjustments. It might sound like, well, we're doing things not in an old-fashioned way at all. We're using new science to put multi-functions into singular products. So to give you an idea, like the wash, do you have the wash, Yvette?
I do. I keep it at the kitchen sink. I use it every single day. And the one thing I like about it is that I can use it so many times and my hands don't get dried out. And a lot of soaps are very drying on my skin, but with that, it's not at all.
So that product, the science we put into that with our formulator that we worked with in New England for the wash, the original recipe, it's developed for your hair, your face, and your personal area. And many people use a personal area soap. Well, you don't need that anymore. And for me, I always bought expensive facial wash. You don't need a facial wash anymore. Just throw those products out. All you need are 2 in your shower. Just wash and conditioner. Our conditioner works like a shave cream too. So
nice.
It's actually not super hard. Even if other companies copied what we were doing, that would be a good thing, I think. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad we're doing what we're doing, but if companies put a little more science into trying to cut costs on ingredients to the point of being dangerous for humans, the world does need to change on the hygiene front. And we saw it in the food, with food, more people understand how important it is to make sure things like pesticides and synthetic ingredients that go in the soils and different things that can harm us. People are realizing that. Linda, I'm sure you can speak to that.
Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking one of the things that I want to know about is the essential oils. I've got some in the kitchen now in a diffuser on guard.
Nice. Very nice.
And yeah, so that's really important to me that when I buy something that it actually is a therapeutic grade of essential oils.
Correct.
So I know that you use this. I would love to come when you're mixing all that stuff and smell good.
You'll never get her out of there.
Right. So, when we developed the line with a formulator out of New England, and I insisted that we use essential oils, we selected them not so much for the healing properties, selfish to say, but because we did market research. We're marketers, and we were trying to find out what are the most popular scents and ones that people would appreciate in their hygiene. And in the Hispanic market, for example, our sweet pea scent. Sweet pea is one of the most favorite scents amongst the Hispanic
love
audience.
that smell.
I do too.
It's my favorite. That's my favorite one. So we worked with the lab to make sweet pea, which sweet pea is just one of the oils in the sweet pea. It has multiple other oils. We have about 10 oils in. So we have 2 scents that are made with essential oils, but multiple oils. So our green teas is made with 10 different plants, and our sweet pea is about 10 different flowers. So those 2 scents come from very large labs here in the United States that custom developed it for us. And so, yeah, that's exciting. But just to, Linda, answer your question, what we've learned since launching the line is one of our scents in particular has been incredibly healing to people with cancer or eczema. And that is our iced mint. We call it iced mint, and that is made with organic eucalyptus and organic mint. Now, what we've learned since launching that scent from the very beginning, we've had this scent. And I don't know, did I mention New Directions aromatics on this?
Oh, not yet. No.
Well, not yet. No.
Yeah. So for your listeners, when you get essential oils, if you care about organic and how safe and healthy it is, know your maker. And so I'm very proud to say New Directions Aromatics is our sole supplier for our essential oils. And then our 2 scents are from labs, and they're our own custom scents. So what we've learned with eucalyptus and mint, the coconut in our products acts as a lovely carrier. The coconut oil acts as a carrier for the eucalyptus and mint, which allows those essential oils to penetrate subcutaneously. And before people's sores have a process to rise to the skin, the eucalyptus mint it actually calms any of that inflammation. So I have cancer people that have had like raw elbows no longer have their raw elbows because they use our moisturizer. And also people that have it on their scalp, I strongly recommend our wash and our conditioner. So the medicinal properties for some of these essential oils, I didn't realize it. But I can tell you, like the lemon, our lemon comes from Sicily. That is exfoliating. So citrus is a nice exfoliator. And so I could go on about each one of the scents and the different things they do. But lavender is a wonderful calming scent. And we have, our lavender comes from France. So our citrus comes from Sicily. Our lavender comes from France. It's, again, all sourced from New Directions out of Canada. They do the testing. They make sure it's a good product. Give me an idea. I just had to send back some of my Sicilian oil because every essential oil is what you call an active ingredient, which is why large manufacturers don't necessarily want to work with that. Why? Because this active ingredient bonds to the other ingredients. And if it is just slightly changed or something's different about it, you might have to rejigger your formulation. We haven't had that challenge until recently with our lemon Sicilian oil. And we're working with New Directions on figuring out how to remedy it, because anyway, it's with that active ingredient, it can make other ingredients not work the way they're supposed to. So, but not a huge problem. But what's recently happened with us, we have to use more oil than what the original recipe called for, and so we need to understand why that's happening. So New Directions is testing why that's happening, and so. Yeah.
I think it's important for anyone, whether you're listening or who we talk to, is that they should understand the difference between the different kinds of essential oils, not just what they are and how, like I could love lavender, but somebody else in the house couldn't. And I know lavender, if you have dogs who like to lick you, lavender is the worst thing you could ever, put on your feet. You put on your tummy when you're trying to go to sleep at night, but that's also doing your homework that way is really super important. But there's so many essential oil manufacturers out there who are manufacturing synthetics and not an organic essential oil. Can you speak to the difference between the two? Is that something that you have working knowledge of?
So even the company I talked about, New Directions Aromatics, they sell synthetic oils alongside of the organic oils and the natural. So you can have natural oils, you can have organic oils, and then you can have hybrids too of synthetic and then synthetic with natural. So it's important to so there's like about 4 differences. So synthetic with natural, and then organic. Those are kind of the 4, at least when I buy, those are sort of the 4 classifications you can look at. And yeah, we just try to stick to what's made with plants, period. Like we've just decided plants, that's it. Also, when you have recipes that are working, you can't just change up an ingredient and think everything will work together. You just can't do that. So yeah, I don't know if that answered
Very,
your question.
yeah, you did. I mean, I think it's only I had COVID now 2 years ago. And like so many others who I lost my sense of smell. I had that same thing. I woke up one morning and it just the smell of burning tires and this little pop in my olfactory area. And I came out in the morning. I didn't know what that was. I just thought something had happened outside the house because the house was open. It was in the winter. And in the morning when I went to go, I think having my lemon water in the morning and I had nothing. I couldn't smell it.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm one of those people who have lost their sense of smell. And my grandmother had lost her sense of smell. So I thought, well, maybe this is what the rest of my life is going to be destined to be like. But I went and did olfactory retraining. And I had some, as I found out, the difference between, I knew about the difference between synthetic and natural or organic, but in order to retrain, I had to only use organic scents. I used rose, coffee, lavender, things that I was really familiar with, oregano, and tea tree oil. Those are the 5. And I left the bottles all over the house. And every like half hour or so, I'd be walking around. My husband thought I was nuts at first, but I said, I'm just trying to, like, my memory knows what it smells like, but I'm not going to go the rest of my life without being able to smell. So it took me about 3 months of reprogramming, but I have my sense of smell back fully. But during that time, I had no appetite because I had this, the sweet, sour, salt, bitter on the palate. But how boring is that when you have 5 million potential different smells waiting for you up in here? So I learned that a huge difference at that point between synthetic, because I could not smell synthetic at all. Nothing.
Isn't that amazing? That is
Yeah.
incredible. I will say, I think COVID created new experiences. I'm 60 myself, and none of us, most of us haven't lived through a pandemic like what we've just been through. And sort of the fallout from that, we can work it for good. And we have to be careful of the things that work for bad. I think we really desocialized. I think even my family, like, we don't love being in big crowds as much at all anymore. I mean, there's things that we have to kind of retrain ourselves spiritually too. It isn't just the sickness, it's what it does to our hearts and our minds about people. Nobody wanted to be near people. And when we're launching cleansing, I'm in stores. I was in stores a lot. And so I'd see people, so much fear was in people. And then many people were brave, but a lot of people just, very scared. And I want to talk about that ingredient thing. What we have to be careful of are also companies that pretend they're doing the right thing. Brands like Mrs. Meyer's, it says, you think it's a natural product. It's not a natural product. It's synthetic. This is a synthetic bottle of wash. Mrs. Meyer's makes synthetic ingredients in almost all of her products. So I don't mean to be critical, but you can have branding that gives us this impression that everything's safe. And you get companies like Seventh Generation, where they bought, Eli Lilly bought Seventh Generation, the brand, and they then use lobbyists to get certain ingredients approved as if they are natural and okay for home use. So our government approved an ingredient. To give you an idea, copper sulfate pentahydrate is an ingredient that farmers use to kill mold and mildew in fields. Well, Eli Lilly had this ingredient then approved for a surface cleaner. 0.2 milligrams, if you read AMA articles about copper sulfate pentahydrate, if you ingest 0.2 milligrams of copper sulfate pentahydrate, you literally are guaranteed to get some kind of cancer.
What?
So what in the world? Oh, yes. You can read it in AMA articles. I can send you, we can put it as links if you want.
I would love that.
Podcast. Yeah.
Please.
So to give you an idea, their surface cleaner, look at the back at a 7th generation surface cleaner bottle. Look at the ingredients. The number 1 ingredient is copper sulfate pentahydrate. So here you have natural shoppers buying 7th generation products, yet why are companies playing trickery with, with what they're saying. Yes, they cannot get sued for having copper sulfate pentahydrate in that surface cleaner because it's considered natural. It got through legislation to be considered natural, but it's entirely unsafe to use in any quantity in a surface cleaner. You just should not be in a surface cleaner. So in my stores, I talk to my owners of, and these are people that have a lot of businesses, and they actually pulled it off the shelves. They actually decided to pull the whole brand out of the store. So
Wow.
I think there are opportunities for honest, good companies like ours to flourish over the coming years. It just takes, it takes funding to keep things going. And also, however a company wants to grow. We decided after Q4 last year, we're not actually pushing for lots of funding. We were going to go into this year with actually building a plant for ourselves and doing various things, but we've decided we're taking one more year of listening to the customer, and then we're going to self-fund a plant. We're not going to necessarily rely on investor dollars because the ROI in this business, you got to be in for the long term. So while we do well and we sell plenty, there is an ROI many makers aren't willing to take on. So that's part of it.
Well, speaking of selling, for people who want to buy your products that may not be here in Florida, or in Southwest Florida, Naples area, how can they get cleansing?
And we have a lovely, loyal, robust, and growing national client base that we serve. We have been quiet, as I shared with Linda. We haven't done a lot of publicity on purpose because we want to make sure we can keep up with the demand regionally. However, as I said, in 2024, we're really going to focus on more direct growth and potentially just one large chain. People can buy our products directly at cleanzing.com, CLEANZING.com. And I highly recommend if you visit the site, go to the About button and watch the videos, because anything I talked about here, the videos explain very well what each product does. And so that's useful. But we first started with stores because we're trying to satisfy everyday people's needs. So we don't just want to be for the uber wealthy. We want, we want everyday people to buy our products, period. And so when you're in stores, you're saving people that postage cost. So often we start in stores, people buy our products in stores, and then they become a direct customer. So for example, in the city here of Bonita Springs or Naples or Fort Myers or Cape Coral, people might live here 6 months of the year. And then when they go home, if they didn't bring home our products, they might just order it directly online. So yeah, and we have a lot of New England customers too, because we've started in New England, and we actually have a good base out of California that orders direct from us. But we really look forward to growing that this year. We'll be doing more videos and talks like this. But I really like to talk about topics besides our products that just for sure are helping the earth. So I'd love to talk with you guys on any sustainable topic. If it seems like my expertise would be useful, I'd love to participate with you guys.
We'll definitely have to have you back again, because I think we could probably go for another hour easily to talk about even just the topic of essential oils, because of how important it is, especially with, putting essential oils on babies and understanding the impact it can have on your entire life, good or bad, depending upon what you're using. So just that alone, and knowing mom's also addiction to essential oils.
I love those things. I mean, every night I have these little roll-on things from doTERRA.
Oh,
so
nice.
every night I use vetiver. I just roll it across my nose, and that's my notice to go to sleep.
Oh, isn't that nice? I love that.
Yeah.
I think what's important, Linda, I think you probably agree with me, is that people really need to understand that essential oils are very strong natural chemicals. Like these very strong ingredients, and we shouldn't play around with them unless we've really done our homework, because like any natural any ingredient like that, they're strong. Like Yvette was saying, you never would want a lavender near your dogs. You wouldn't want, or cats especially, So we actually say our waters is safe for pets. So people that need to wipe their dogs or mouth or dogs' backsides or the
Oh,
mouth
okay.
or even around the eyes, you can use our waters. But we recommend our fragrance-free waters for pets or our green tea scent or the sweet pea. Sweet pea is fine too. We've done enough testing with those over the last 4 years that we've never had one person to have a problem. And so it's our waters is also good for pets, I should say. But so just to say, essential oils, they're strong chemicals. I mean, it's something that you don't handle lightly. And what you're putting on your nose, what's the name of that company?
It's doTERRA, and it's vetiver, VETIVER. And it just comes in a little roller thing, and I put right on my nose. So then it actually relaxes me and puts me to sleep. And I was going to say, at least I have a friend of mine. You've talked to Sheila Tucker, Yvette, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
And she has many people with the formulas and with doTERRA have actually used that to heal themselves. So they're not just something for smell, and they're not to be toyed with. They're actually, So we could have another conversation.
Oh, we could actually invite Sheila on as well.
That's
And
what
the four of us could have a great conversation, because Sheila is a nurse, and that's how she's had her success with her patients and clients. And also with the vetiver, you can also rub it on the brainstem, on the nape of the neck, where the base of the skull and the nape and the neck come together. You can put it there at the brainstem, and it does the same thing. So if you don't like the smell of it, because it's a very grassy smell. So for anybody who I know it's very grounding for you. It's a great grounding oil for you, Mom. But if you don't like that grounding smell, don't put it here. Just put it, back here at the brainstem, and it does the same thing.
My next favorite is patchouli, and that's
I love patchouli.
Yeah, well, then you'll love the vetiver then.
I love patchouli. I love those earthy scents.
Me too.
Yeah.
What are yours? What are your favorite, Yvette?
Yeah. My favorite essential oil. That's a really good question, because I don't think I have one favorite. I think it kind of depends upon the mood that I'm in. So if I feel foggy, I will diffuse lemon or citrus, because it's really great for alert. I love the smell of frankincense, but that's one you have to use a carrier oil with. Otherwise you can end up burning your skin.
Yeah.
Tea tree oil. I don't go anywhere without tea tree oil.
Melaleuca.
Melaleuca. Yeah. And I love lavender. It's something that I use quite a bit, and with my own, just for under the nose for going to sleep at night, I'll use that. And what else do I like to use? Well, your sweet pea is I just love it. So I don't know.
Clean.
There's something,
it's
clean, but it reminds me of being a little kid, growing up in Pennsylvania. And, when you walk out in the spring and just all these flowers are blooming, and just that smell, it reminds me of being a little kid. So I like the sweet pea for that. But what else do I like?
I think doing a podcast just on these oils, and not just what people say, but where we've verified people that have had outstanding results. The oil of tea tree, what you talk about with tea tree oil, that's usually a combination of oils to make tea tree oil. It's not usually just one oil. And I just want to throw out a little barb. I actually don't like how Paul Mitchell, the maker of Paul Mitchell, has used tea tree oil in their shampoos. I find them highly allergic in terms of how they formulated it. So just because a brand makes something with an oil, you want to make sure it works for you, because not every essential oil is going to work well for you. And with the Paul Mitchell line and this tea tree scent, they're in a lot of hotels with that. And I was frankly shocked. I was in a very nice Marriott, and I got some nice Paul Mitchell tea tree oil shampoo and conditioner, and my scalp burnt. Like, I felt like I was burning.
Wow.
Yeah. So, because I'm one of the reasons all of our products are hypoallergenic is that we design it because I'm sensitive, and I really like things to be wonderful on your skin, but not that you're going to keep remembering these smells all over your body all the time. our scents will blend with your body scent with other, let's say like a nice cologne. Our stuff isn't going to dominate your olfactory sense after you're done using it. But yeah, tea tree oil, you want to be cautious of manufacturers that use it, that it's not going to burn your skin.
It's very drying. So it's one of those oils, just
Yes,
like,
yeah.
well, frankincense will burn the skin, but the tea tree can actually dry your skin out. And that overstresses the skin boundary. So it sometimes makes healing harder to do when your skin is so dry, because it opens it up for more bacteria to come in. So you have to be really careful with that one too. It's a
I use that for mosquito bites.
Yes, yes.
And the mosquitoes are relentless, so you got to use it.
Yes, that's smart, Linda.
I was going to mention real quick with lavender, because in Florida we have red fire ants that are an issue. And the one thing that I will do, because I got bit by a fire ant on my pinky, as a matter of fact, this past weekend. And you know how a fire ant bite will get that big pus sac on it?
Yeah.
So as soon as the bite happened, I came in, I put lavender oil straight on it. And I mean, there's this, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it's only a light pink spot now. They never even pussed up.
Wow. I should have, I should know this. And I didn't even know that. Thank you, Yvette.
You're welcome.
Probably about 2 months ago, as I got out of my truck in my church, we were parking in the grass and I had sandals on. One of my feet got attacked by fire ants. I probably had 5 or 6 fire ants.
Oh my God.
My foot was in so much pain during that service. I just couldn't believe how much pain my foot was in. And then I have scars I have red dots on that foot. Still, here in Florida, we need to be aware of that. Fire ants are nothing you should mess around with.
No.
Nope. Public properties really should be sprayed well, because it's, I can't even imagine if like a little infant got that or a young kid, you know, they're horrible, but
yes, they are. Well, try the lavender on even now it might help.
Melaleuca helps that too. Is it keeps them from putting Melaleuca or lavender? I was going to tell you, I wanted to tell a quick story that years ago, we lived in New England too. We lived in Weymouth, and my mom came to visit, and back then they didn't have diffusers, so I used to buy these little metal rings that you put around your light bulb.
No, I forgot that you had those. Oh my gosh.
That's I mean, I've been essential oils for like over 30 years. So anyhow, I put patchouli in there because that was my favorite scent. So my mom comes to visit, and she said, and I forgot about that. I had them in there. She comes to visit, and after a while she says, "Smells like patchouli." And I said, "Oh yeah, I have some of that. That's what's in the little ring around the light bulb." And she said, "Oh my God, I used to use that stuff as perfume when I was a kid." That was her. And I never knew that about her. So apparently the genes got planted. That is one of my favorite scents too. And I used to put little cotton balls in my dressers, you know, so my clothes would smell like it. So it's just, I've been an essential oil person for a long time, but I didn't get wise until later about the importance of buying therapeutic blends and not synthetics. So, okay. Well,
good share.
Good share.
Well, I guess it's time for us to wrap up our episode. And Barb, thank you so much for everything that you shared. And I'll put the link to your website in the notes with the podcast on YouTube. And if you want to share those articles from the AMA, about the copper something
pentahydrate. Yeah.
Thank you. And I will save my lobbyist conversation for another day, because I have some comments about that, but I don't want to go down the rabbit hole at this point in time.
Yes.
But we would love to have you come back again. And definitely the essential oils would be a fantastic conversation. Fantastic.
Would love to talk about that with you. And I think people care about that. I think people really care about that. And there's many people like us have been on board with essential oils for a number of years, but this younger generation really is demanding better things in their lifestyles. So it's
Yeah.
a nice thing that I think there's ripe interest in what natural products can do to improve our lifestyles.
Absolutely. And then the next time you're back on, I would love to actually have a conversation about what it's like to manage your business, because it's you and your husband. And also, if you have boundaries around personal versus professional, I think that would be a great conversation for our listeners too, because it's something that we can all learn from. And I think it's an important conversation as well. And this is what we're here for, is to have conscious conversations and give ourselves, to have those mindful pauses throughout the day. So that would be another conversation in our podcast.
And I can introduce you to him briefly the next time we talk. So yeah, we've worked together for over 31 years. We've worked together. So
Awesome.
Yeah, in our businesses. And so
well, you'll have some awesome advice for our listeners then.
Gladly. Yeah. I'm not perfect at it. You're never perfect, but yes, I'd love to chat about that.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, Barb, thank you again for joining us. And if you'd like to stay on for the wrap up, you're welcome to do so. If your schedule is busy, you're welcome to sign off now. It's entirely up to you.
I'd love to listen to your wrap up.
All right. Mom, do you have any closing comments for today?
Make sure you sniff something good.
Yes. Sniff for inspiration.
like Barb's sweet pea. That's what this one is. Yeah.
The cleansing waters. Well, I will just say that we are Spacebar, Mindful Pauses for Conscious Conversation. And my name is Yvette. I'm the daughter.
And I'm Linda. I'm the mom.
So thank you to all of our listeners for joining us. Have a great day. Stay tuned for our next episode. And remember, don't count the days, make the days count.